goodness. Okay, so we are recording now. Why don't you start the story first? So we don't want you just to. He's leaving.
Wait,
what happened? I said, why don't you start our story? He gets up. I'm like, what, did I say something wrong? Welcome everybody. I know we've got new people on here. Sending text out to my team. Good job, Kelly. Yeah, if you have some teammates,
So I'll
tell whatever you want.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do an experimental version of the story where I tell her part, and then she takes up where I
and how you felt back then.
I'm gonna get in touch with my emotions in this story.
Yeah, I want to hear lots of emotions. I'm
gonna cry.
All right, you guys ready? We're sharing our story because we have some new people and we haven't done it for a while. And, you know, good. Go ahead.
Well, 20 years ago, we were, how long have we been married?
I know. I knew that you probably should say that. 26 years we've been married.
Yeah, so we were married 6 years. We were working together, actually at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School down in Parkland. And she was the guidance counselor. I was the band director. Joel Herbst, you might know, he was assistant principal, and there was a Julie Herbst.
Yeah,
she was the TV production teacher. So she was Julie Jones before that, and Joel met her, and the rest was history there. But, so we're working at the high school. Julie shared Juice Plus with Sharon. Believe it or not, we were at our son's baby dedication at church, and we went out to lunch afterward. And Julie was too scared to even share Juice Plus with Sharon. Now, Julie's like, if you're brand new, she's like a really big dog. And
powerhouse.
You'll see her on some of the videos and stuff. She was too chicken to even say anything to Sharon. And she slipped a cassette tape into her baby diaper bag. And on the ride home, Sharon's like, what is this? She calls up Julie. Julie, did you put a cassette tape in my bag? She's like, yeah. She's like, well, what the heck? It's called You're Not Too Fat. You're just, wait, what
You're
is
not
it?
overweight.
You're not overweight.
You're just not tall enough.
You're just not tall enough. It's like, what the heck is that?
I'm pretty tall, so I'm like.
So she shared the information with Sharon in that funny kind of a way. But, you know, we trusted that relationship. So she ordered Juice Plus for the whole family. And she really started taking it consistently. She had great results with allergies, with energy levels, and it just, you know, it was very helpful for her. And for me, I was kind of hit or miss. You know, guys we're slow learners. You got to be patient with us. When somebody says this is what you should do, we don't listen to stuff like that.
Well, him and Joel were enjoying working together.
Well, that's true.
And Joel gained 100 pounds. Okay, so Doug was right there with them.
Well, I didn't get 100
enjoying
pounds,
working together.
Yeah, I mean, I was enjoying, you know, eating poorly too much to really be worried about it. I was relatively healthy at the time. I thought I was, and I just didn't really worry about it. Well, it's hard to tell your story.
You can do it.
Okay, but I'm thinking about me the whole time.
But you should. It's your story, but
I know.
Different viewpoint.
So she started sharing Juice Plus. I'm going to mix in the business, of course.
Oh, okay.
And so she started sharing Juice Plus. I would take it here and there. I would take Juice Plus, you know, when she forced me to or handed it to me. But I was definitely like a bagel guy. I was really into my career. Wings, you know,
Philly
things like that. Oh, do we have to keep going on?
Sorry.
I mean, you know, you guys know the drill. So over time, it did catch up with me. Eventually, when we had our daughter, Emma, you know, I decided, you know, I want to live. I need to do something about this. Now, this is a time, back in those days, she would literally cry and say, you got to make some changes. You're going to have a heart attack. She would call me a walking heart attack and stuff.
He was.
So I did. One of the biggest changes I made was starting to have the shake in the morning and taking Juice Plus consistently. And then once I did that,
2 shakes.
Sometimes 2. Yeah, I was doing like the Transform 30 thing. And, you know, Juice Plus really does work. I felt better. I was able to have good results health-wise as far as blood pressure and cholesterol, things like that. Was able to get off some medications even.
Bathroom stuff.
I mean, I used to be a slave to the bathroom. I mean, I had issues there. We won't get into too much.
He doesn't usually talk about that.
You're forcing me to.
I know.
But I became normal. let's just say normal.
Normal's good.
Yeah. And so that was great. You know, I've seen great health effects from it. Our kids have really stayed out of the doctor's office. But when it comes to the business, you know, I was busy. You know, I'd become I wasn't a teacher anymore. I was a school administrator. I was kind of climbing the ladder, doing that, having some good success. But, you know, she was building the business at home. And I didn't really know much about the Juice Plus company until I went to conference when she was getting promoted to NMD. And when I went, I didn't expect very much. I thought it was a little, all I knew was she had this
business. Which was
business at
7
home.
years into the business.
Yeah, my first conference was 7 years into the business. And my only view, if you ever wonder, like what does your spouse think of this? All they know is what they see. So I just saw her like having a party with 20 people at it once in a while and spending a lot of time on the phone. Yeah. So I thought there was going to be a couple hundred people in the room. Maybe she'd get a plaque or something. I don't know. So I go to conference. There's 6,000 people there. There's a DJ. There's fireworks going off. I'm meeting doctors and pediatricians and healthcare people and athletes. Unbelievable. I got to meet some of the executives from the country, some of the doctors you see on the video. I was blown away. That really changed things for me. I mean, I saw her growing as a leader. I saw her paycheck growing, but really getting to know the company gave me confidence. Gave me a lot of confidence.
What about the $1,000 paycheck and the I'm not going back to work part?
You know, she had just, when she started, she was home with Daniel, I think it was, right?
Both
yeah,
of them.
the babies. And her and Julie thought, hey, maybe we can make some money. Yes, it took 7 years to reach NMD. She'll talk about that part in a second. But she's home with the kids, and they're thinking they're not going to go back to work, you know. And I'm thinking, you just got your second master's degree. We have student loans. What are you talking about? You're not going back to work. But, you know, she was consistent, you know, and she kept at it, which is the most important thing you can do. And, you know, eventually she made the car payment. Then, you know, if you ever want your spouse to take this more serious, you get a comma in your paycheck. And then it's like, hey, wait a second. You start making the house payment, that's a different story. You're really, you know, contributing. Everything contributes, but that makes a big difference. Then, you know, I wanted a Ford Mustang, like a GT, and she bought me a car.
You were complaining a lot.
I was.
He had a girl Mustang because of the kids. You know how that happens where you have to change cars because you increase your kids.
So I inherited her Mustang, which had the
Mustang.
Small engine. It was like, I don't want some little girl's
automatic,
Mustang.
No fin, you know, and all that stuff. No
I hated
wheels.
that car.
Wasn't, you know, shifting.
So she got me a nice Mustang, and
that was at QNMD.
She was really manipulating me, you know.
I didn't know it. It worked out really well.
So she really, you know, eventually her income surpassing my income. And you know, you come home from work after working 12 hours, she's still in her pajamas. I'm like, what the heck? You know, so I really, you know, I got more involved before that, but got more and more involved in the business side of things and just really fell in love with this community, this company. Our products are amazing. And the thing is, you know, in my other job, you know, you go to work, you like give up your whole life, it feels like, for work, you know. And I was seeing the freedom that she had in a business like this and the income that we were starting to have from it. So I just got more and more involved. Eventually we got to a point where we said, hey, you know what? You know, I had, my father had passed away. Another friend of mine had just died suddenly with no warning, really, other than being in, you know, subpar health. But, you know, life is too short. You know, so we decided to go all in. I retired at about 45 years old and just decided, you know, we're going to do this together full time. So we've been working full time. Our business continues to grow. Our income is surpassed what I thought we would ever make, you know. Yeah. And it's just awesome. We have an amazing team, people like you guys, and it's just one person at a time. I mean, Marissa has just had Lisa join her team. Yay! Welcome, Lisa.
We're so
glad. You know,
Paula's doing a dance.
Yeah, Paula, you know, and then Paula, she's a new friend too. You know, she's pretty new to the team. And you know what? It's like, you know, sometimes people look on and say, well, gosh, it's going to be so hard to build a giant team of people. You guys have hundreds and hundreds. Well, it's just one person at a time. I mean, I'm talking to one person yesterday, and then another 2 or 3 today, and that's how you build this business. You just do it that way.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't
So
think
what was the most feeling part of your story?
uh,
Let's see if we can get this. Get some more feeling.
well, I think the feeling of as the person that wasn't working at home is leaving the house every day. Honestly, most days I left the house before you guys were up.
Look at the baby.
So you leave the house, you get in the driveway, and you get in the car, and everybody's like still sleeping or they're just waking up, and you got to drive them to school and all that stuff.
I loved it. Yeah.
And here I am driving to work, and then you're with other people all day long. And to be honest with you, when I really thought about it, when I was at work, I didn't even think about my family most of the time. So I wasn't even thinking about my family until I get home. But then all my best energy, my best mentally just trying to perform because I'm a high achiever. It's like I gave my best at work and to everybody else's kids because I was in the education field. And then it's like my family was getting the leftovers. And then like the kids, they want to play, and it's like, I'm just too tired. Hey, let's do this, Dad. I don't want to. I just wanted to do my own thing. Or even worse, I'd bring home the briefcase and I'd still be working.
Lisa has a question for you. All right. There it is.
Well, I started helping. I have a whole teaching I do on this, but I can do a quick version of that. The kind of step one. So sometimes people will be like, "Hey, I want my spouse to be involved in the business." Okay, well that's good, or I want them to quit their job. My first thing would be like, what? I mean, why would you wish that upon somebody? Maybe they don't want to. Don't ruin their life or something. So I know people that are doing Juice Plus, making a lot of money, but they still keep their job because they love their job that much. I'm just somebody who we're kind of codependent. Like, why are we always together? You might wonder. I just like hanging around with her.
We're not sure why either.
She tolerates me. I love being with her, but
No, it's great.
We're just like two peas in a pod, so we're always together. So this is the best life for us. But the stages, I think the most important thing a spouse can do, whether it's man or woman, is that to be supportive. We should be supportive in anything our spouse is or our friend is excited about. Even when she's excited about racquetball, I'm like, let's get some lessons. Let's go. You're going to a tournament. I want to be there. I want to watch. Like I'm supportive. It's not. I don't just like tolerate it or like, why are you going to a tournament? Why aren't you staying home here with me? He's worried.
He's getting scared.
I'm joking. I'm scaring children again. Mommy, why is that man yelling?
Right, we're not.
So first step is to be supportive. The next step is to get kind of, help out a little bit. How do you do that? Maybe you say, hey, I'm going to watch the kids. Why don't you go do some phone calls? Or here's a way to be supportive instead of, because I used to be this guy. There was a time when she wouldn't go out to events because I was irritated. I was working hard all day. I come home.
$1,000, guys. That's when I was released.
Oh.
Go wherever you want. Go.
I don't even remember that. So I guess that was it.
He was that guy that he forgets.
Oh yeah.
No, he wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. He never talked down about it. He never complained. It was just pretty known that I was the diaper changer and the kids were too young for him to possibly take care of. But he realized
I'm only a man. I can't handle that.
But he realized his ability once I was able to make the $1,000 and get out of the house. And
it's funny how I learned those skills.
You were able to
once you were making more money.
It's
Okay.
so funny.
So you start off just helping out. Maybe you can do the dishes or do the laundry or something, anything. The next step is, and not really doing the business full time, would be just giving your spouse access to your warm market. Just saying, hey, why don't you come over to the school and come to have school lunch today, or come to lunch at work, meet some of the friends, or make sure you go to the Christmas party and meet people, The next step above that is saying, hey, dude, you need to learn more about Juice Plus. I'm gonna give my wife your number, okay? That kind of stuff. That's like giving referrals.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next step would be where you're actually doing it yourself. So yes, I was a partner at one point, but I'm not gonna lie. There was a point where she took away my distributorship. She actually fired me. I don't understand why. I don't know what I did wrong. But I think it was better for us for some reason. I don't know why.
We had to rebuild after that. It's not good to sign up your spouse right away. I know a lot of people
Yeah,
wonder
don't
about
do that. Hey,
It is good to everybody work together, but build one NMD position at a time.
Yeah.
That's what.
Because then you're kind of like spreading your new people around and stuff.
And you have to have structure, so it messes with the structure. So
that's the only time I've been fired.
Yeah, no, he didn't even know it. Are you? What else?
I have a lot of hurt there.
Yeah.
You didn't
so let me go through my stages.
Yeah.
So with the support thing, I think it is a mistake for the spouses to be like, hey, I want you to do Tower Garden and I'll do Juice Plus or whatever, like putting it on that spouse. It's with everything else. It's selling them on being interested. Like they're not interested at first. So they've got to just have their own educational exposures, their own way of getting to where you are. They're not where you are. So you've got to just, and selling really is education. So it's just like having the video on when they come home, oh yeah. And then it's like game changers, if you want your husband to be like vegan or vegetarian or eat less meat, just put game changers on, right? On the TV. And when they come through, they're going to see like the mixed martial arts guy talking about it or the big guy carrying all the weight. So you've got to be kind of creative in how you lure them in. Like he said with the Mustang, well, I didn't know I was luring him in, but I knew I wasn't really interested in a goal for myself. I was interested in gifting someone. So I was like, when I listened to a goals call, they said, well, if you can't come up with a goal for yourself, maybe you want to gift something to somebody. And I was like, oh, I could get him his favorite car if I increase my paycheck to this amount. And I made it on a sticky note and I put it on my wall.
You should do that again.
Fun. Yeah, maybe. So I think once is good. Anyway, maybe something for me.
Can you go through?
Okay, so, what I was going to say about I can. So what I was going to say is the green light. Mostly the women need a green light from the husbands because we try to kind of hide the business or don't want to say, hey, I'm going to conference or I'd like to go to conference. Maybe their belief is not there, and I think mostly having that green light of, hey, yeah, you go ahead and build this. And that's fine. At one point he said, yeah, you go ahead and build this, but you need to get 5 babysitters in your phone. Because he was super busy. He wasn't just a 40-hour-a-week person. He was at all the after-school things and Saturdays, Sundays. You never know. I mean, there's a lot that goes on in a school. So that was key to me. He said, yes, but get 5 babysitters. And I did. So, there's stages. What would you like to say?
Well, along those lines, this is fully the relationship training we're into now. Okay. This is great. Hopefully they like this.
This was not the plan.
Okay. Sometimes there's a spouse that isn't supportive because as a man, so in the relationship as guys, a lot of times we think we're protecting our wives. So we're working hard. Our wives come home and they gotten involved in this thing. What is this thing you've gotten involved in? So let me do my research on this. You know how we are. It's the same thing that leads us to not use the instructions when we're putting together IKEA furniture or something. And then we always mess up. Okay.
There's a lot of yelling. And stuff.
Right.
Maybe.
So here's something, and remember this, because it may not be you, but it's going to be your teammates, guaranteed.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So when there's a husband, and it's always the husband, because women aren't like this usually. I feel sexist today for some reason. I hope I'm not. So guys are like, hey, well, I don't think you should be doing this, and this isn't the best option for you, and this is not a good move for you, and all this stuff. And they evaluate whether it's good for you. And then the wife then tries to justify it by providing numbers. Well, there's $13 billion in sales, and we have 34 published research studies, and blah, 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 blah. Here's what you really need to tell them. You just say, I want to do this. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
Because we got another problem. If there's something you want to do that makes you happy that only costs $50 and you just get to talk on the phone with your friends and go on Zooms, and then we have relationship problems. You know what I mean? It's like, it's going to make you happy. Why wouldn't they let you do that? That's like saying, I don't know. I always think of the movie Napoleon Dynamite that nobody sees, but they're selling this Tupperware, and this guy's selling the Tupperware, and if you buy the 6-pack of it, you get this wooden boat, and the lady goes, "I want that." So that's it. I want that. I want it because it makes me happy.
Right. Okay. So an example was I wanted to go to an NMD boot camp. I mean, we're just putting all of our dirty laundry out today. So there was an NMD boot camp, first ever. It was at St. Bernardo, this beautiful resort. And it was the first time they were ever going to have a national marketing director boot camp. And so the man logic is you're not going to get customers. You're not going to get distributors there. Why should you go? And so it's part of personal growth. He's like, well, why don't I sign up for a $900 course in music? That's going to be my personal growth. So it's like, oh my gosh. So then thankfully it was my birthday also. So he's like, if you're going to play the birthday card, that's a different story. So that was kind of how I started to learn with the men generally. You have to just say, this is something I want to do.
We got some guys on here because I'm feeling a little alone right now.
I don't know. We don't have the gallery view. We don't know. But anyway, but with men, they automatically want to go head to head. If you start talking head logic, like, oh, well, this is going to help me increase my paycheck by this much. This is going to, I might meet people on the airplane on the way there. I might this or that or whatever. Then he's going to say, but this, but that. Or like if a lady comes to your wellness presentation, then goes home and says, I'm going to talk to my husband. And then she tries to do the presentation that she just learned. It's difficult. But if she just says, hey, I found something great for our family that I want, and then just, that's it. But if she goes home trying to convince him that it's the next thing since sliced bread, I don't know why people say that.
Next best thing.
Whatever.
Not the next
whatever,
thing.
you know what I mean? So, it's just a matter of learning all that. So with, Michelle says, it took me getting to the Common Club. I mean, really, that is what it is, and also us taking it seriously. So that kind of does segue us into friends and family. So like Doug said, a lot of times our friends and family want to protect us when we are new. They want to say, oh, well, or you might not want to tell them you're a distributor. So you say, what do you think about this? And then they want to just go hog wild on what they think about it. And they're not actually accessing real research or, things that are not anonymous blogs. So sometimes our friends and family are the hardest to actually know, number one, that we're in business, and to, that we treat it professionally, so then they will respect it. They want to give their opinion. And that opinion to you is going to hurt you negatively. You'll start thinking that. So one of the solutions we've kind of come up with is called the Friends and Family Call. And Beth Leopold starts her new people off that way, and it's really a support call. So I'm going to transition to that.
Well, can we get a poll going over here? In the chat. Can we get? Let me ask you guys a question. And our new team member Lisa, you are the guest of honor today because you're brand new. But I do want to say that Lisa is very engaging. She smiles and laughs at things.
Yeah, I love it.
So she is the greatest. Okay. All right. So. All right. On a scale of 1 to 10,
Not
guys.
that you guys aren't.
10. Yeah, well, I didn't say they weren't. I'm honoring, honoring the new person. Okay. She's great. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being awesome and 1 being okay, how receptive has your family been to Juice Plus as you share with them?
Scale of 1 to 10.
10 being awesome, no problem, everybody's on every product. 1 being, don't talk to me, I think you've joined a cult.
Oh, Melissa Vasandre.
Okay.
She's got some real people coming after her. Okay.
It changes over the years, too.
Does
just,
change.
I mean, we're on a 20-year journey. I mean, there was a point where my mom said to Sharon, what did she say? And I don't want to talk about this again.
Yeah. She's now taking triple trio at the Tower Garden, 2 shakes a day. I mean, you just have to know these things
She
happen.
called me yesterday and she's like, I need the trio again. I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? What are you doing? She goes, I take 3 doses a day of the trio.
Yeah, and
Omega.
you can for sure, because it's food. So she's taking extra, but she was one of my very first customers, but I think she was buying for so many people in the family that that it became a little much. So she stopped once she was moving to North Carolina, and we had that. I'll never forget that conversation by the sink, and we're doing dishes, and she's like, "Well, you might believe in it. You might have faith in it." Like, and I'm like, "Well, it's not blind faith or something. There's actual research." And no, that was not the approach. So anyway, she said, I do not want to talk about it anymore. And I'm like, oh, okay. So anyway, but over time, she came back and she became like our shred queen when we did the shred, because she was doing all the changes, and now she's back again, which is awesome. So just know, that you might have receptive family at first, but you still have to treat them as new because you want to keep those educational exposures. But then you might have family that are like, no, at first, and maybe they stay there. But then, with my different sisters, I had one sister sign up right away and now she's not on it. I had another sister who didn't sign up right away and now she's on it and on the team. And I have another sister that I give Juice Plus to. So you never know. And then I have a new brother that I didn't know, and not at all, and a sister-in-law who's now on the team. So you just never know. I mean,
never know.
It's pretty amazing.
But
and it does change over time.
The thing is, I just forget what I was going to say again. Oh, the nice thing about the friends and family call. Are you going to go into the call?
Yeah, but I like hearing you talk.
Okay. The friends and family call it's not a sales call.
Right.
It's just saying, like, so then your family doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, she's going to bother me over and over about this thing. It's literally just saying, hey, I want to update you on what I'm doing now and what I'm excited about, just so you know, because you're going to see me posting about it, and it's just something that's new in my life, So we do this call. It's called the Friends and Family Call, where we just kind of educate people. You get to tell your story about what you've discovered with Juice Plus, and then you have somebody like Sharon or your sponsor come on, and they explain what Juice Plus is and tell their story, and then we ask if anybody has any questions, and we make it clear. We say, hey, this isn't a sales call, and that's really good, because then it kind of eases like that elephant in the room.
Yeah, and it helps you to answer those hard questions. So if they bring up those hard questions, so just to be a little more specific, we have 3 people on the call. The first one is the new person, then the second one is like the knowledge on ice, where it's like, okay, this is why it's credible, it's the most sold nutritional product in the capsule in the world. It's not a vitamin. It's not sold in stores because it's a distribution company. We're in over 20 countries, 50 years, and isn't that great that Lisa is now with this company that's so stable and lasting? It's not a fly by night, and it's something that doctors recommend because there's a lot of research and all that. So it's not just Lisa talking to her family one-on-one and her not knowing the answers. So it's this third party. And then the third person is the friend who's so excited that she joined with her. That would be Marissa. So if we were to do it, it'd be Lisa, me, Marissa, but we love Doug too. We would put him in there just for extra, like, yeah, everything I forget to say, he then remembers. And so it's a pretty cool call. You can have 3 or 4 people.
Well,
but
she
it's
says
20
she
minutes.
hasn't shared yet.
Right.
So
it's really perfect
scaring
for Lisa.
you? Is this scaring you, or like making you more prepared?
Right. You get nervous for sure, but it actually is set up in a way where we're not selling, and we tell them that. This is not a sales call. This is a support call, and we're glad you're on here. Lisa first talks, and she says, hey, welcome, Aunt Mary, welcome, Sister Sue, whatever. And she's saying, I'm excited to update you on my life and where we're at. And, I haven't, done a family update, and I thought this would be fun to get on here. Then like Aunt Mary and Sister Sue are saying hello to each other and stuff. And so then And then she says, I've got some more people on the line with me that are going to help explain, but I want to go ahead and update you. So then I say something like, well, let me go ahead and start the recording in case not all of your people are here, Lisa. So I started recording. And then I say, I'm just going to record us. But at the end, you'll be able to ask questions or cheer Lisa on. So glad that you are on this support call for her. So then,
thanks. I'm gonna show them the thing.
Okay, he's like taking my screen away.
They're still there.
So then, but I totally lost track of my thoughts.
You're doing the thing.
Yeah, I know I'm doing the thing.
You,
Okay, so in the beginning, Lisa shares, and she talks about anything she wants to. She might talk about her, dental hygienist position and what's going on with COVID if she wanted to, how the kids are, whatever she wants to talk about. But she'll say, one of the reasons why I asked you to be on this call is just because I'm taking a direction which I'm really excited about, something like that. We have a whole blog that tells, what we might say. And then she just starts into my friend Marissa, who is my neighbor. She's told me about this and I've researched it, and I'm just really excited to share it with you. That this is something that I'm getting passionate about, and it might actually be the answer for me to be able to be home with our 3 kids. And but either way, I'm just really passionate about it. Something like that. She shares her excitement or her passion about it. So then, and she tells as much as she knows, but doesn't talk about anything she doesn't know, because that's where you get trapped. And then she says, I have Sharon here who can better explain what it is I'm talking about and why I'm so excited about Juice Plus and why it's different from everything else out there. But just know this isn't, and we keep repeating, it's not a sales call. This is so you can support me. If I'm posting something about fruits and vegetables, or I'm having an event, maybe you'll come, whatever. So then she hands it to me, and I tell a little bit about what makes Juice Plus different, and isn't it great, the company's been around, blah, blah, blah. Then it goes to Marissa, or Doug. It would go to Doug next, and then Marissa. So it's really cool. Then 20 minutes. Then we turn off the recording. We say, we're going to turn off the recording. You can ask a couple questions. We kind of limit it because we don't want to be on there forever. And then we say, or you could just cheer Lisa on. And it ends up being like a pump up call where people are like, oh, this is perfect for you, Lisa. And like all the relatives are like supporting her. And that's really what you want, because when you're new, it's hard because you don't really know what to say to your family, and then they're protective, like Doug's saying. So it's really a good call as long as you don't have any expectations that they're going to buy something from it. That's not the point. The point is for them to get behind you and say, oh, I'm so happy for you and all that. And then though, what does happen is they say, well, I want more information. How do I get that? And do I go on a website? Can you send me a link? That's what happens in the end, even though we're saying that's not what we're doing.
All right, so I put the link to that script. There's actually a script for that call into the chat. You can save that link, and you can check out gotransformers.net. It's like a pep rally. Yeah, absolutely, Michelle. So I think we're going to have a lot of questions and comments and a lot of great discussion around this. So you guys can ask specific questions, like anything you want.
Yeah. So,
or we could have some of our leaders share or whatever. So go ahead and unmute yourself if you have a question.
Or if you've had great results with the friends and family call, or if you have a story you want to tell about your family, or you want to know what can I do about my family who said this. So now it's an open forum.
I'll say something. This is Paula P. St. Croix. What's up? I got my garden tower.
St. Croix.
I got my
Oh, you got your tower. Yay.
Wow.
Awesome.
How long did it take to ship to St. Croix?
Oh my gosh. It was like a 2-week process, and then I had to wait a week for them to inspect it and customs approve. So that was torture. But at least I knew it was in St. Croix.
Nice.
Then I don't have a car, so luckily my girlfriend just got a new truck. Go figure. And so she went with me to pick it up. So
wow.
I have that. So I'm happy about that. Trust that. And we're gonna do a reveal. I'm just checking now to make sure everything's in it, because actually when I got the box, all the air came out of my body, and I just was like, so I'm just really now opening it up and making sure everything is there. So when we do the reveal, I'm gonna be like, I'm missing a screw.
Maybe I need to come to St. Croix for a little visit and help with the tower garden.
You should. But my question with the group is, my phone's about to die. Hold on a second. Is before I got into this, I'm sorry, my phone's about to die. Okay, before I got into this, I was doing some other things in multi-level marketing, and I really, this is not really the direction I wanted to go in, but it's so fantastic and it fits what I'm doing because I'm a farmer now and I am selling salsa. I make veggie salsa, and this is just gonna blow it up. I'm gonna be able to have my own salsa garden, tower garden. But when it comes to my family, they're like, you know, oh, what you doing now type of thing, you know, and it's not that they don't support me, but it's like, no, you know, we don't do that. We're not interested in that. And so I think once I get the tower up, like my sister was like, maybe I should fly you to Atlanta and you can help me with a garden. I'm like, maybe you should get a tower garden. You could do it yourself. But so I think once I get it up and going, then they're gonna see the value in it. Because right now, to my family and some of my friends, it's like, what do you know? Oh, you're doing something new again, you know? What about that other thing you were doing? Are you still doing that other thing? And actually, everything is just tying together, and it's just all working.
And you can say that to them, you know, oh, it's just all tying together. I'm just.
It is. Eating good, looking good, being happy. It's all this. It's all together. So that's what I wanted to say. You know, the family might not be involved, but if you really believe in it, this is what I believe. If I really believe in it and it's successful for me, then they're gonna be all on board. And they might not do it, but they're gonna be sending me people. So that's what I'm praying for.
Yeah. I think if you take a lot of times, well, first of all, let me say that a lot of the things we think when we're sharing with people or when we get responses from people, what we think they're thinking isn't even real. You know, it's really in our head, you know, so we have to, so they're not necessarily thinking, hey, why is Doug sharing this? Because he was selling this other thing last month, or why would he be doing this, or why would he be, they're not even thinking that far into it. They're thinking, oh, he's selling. Now there's going to be people that, you know, it depends on your relationship with people. Like I have certain friends that would like, you know, like make a joke or a snide remark because maybe we jab like that all the time or something, you know what I mean? But don't fill your head with thoughts and stuff. Somebody asked, how can your family believe in this if you're in a new project? Well, your family, don't have the expectation that your family, just because they're your family, they're going to buy Juice Plus. It'd be nice. I mean, I think they should. I mean, I think, you know, if my son started up a company, I would want to like support him. But I don't know why they don't sometimes. It's okay. But I think you're going to have a lot longer communication with your family, so you got to take it slow and educate them.
And use somebody else. Use a video or an event, or, you know, don't go full throttle. Just, you know, share a little bit your excitement. That's it, and then let the resources do the work, because it's third-party validation. They're used to, like for me, they were used to seeing that I was making hamburgers and onions for breakfast. What? That I had McDonald's, that I had Coca-Cola and M&Ms. I mean, you know, so they I think MLMs
tend,
yeah.
I think it depends on the person. When they are on guard, if they say, is that one of those things? You say, like, what do you mean? You know, ask questions. If somebody's had a bad experience with a direct sales or multi-level marketing company, then you can ask them more specific questions about it. Michelle, do you have something?
Yeah, I wanted to share my experience when I was new. Okay. So just so to put you guys at ease, when I first started this business, I'm the one person in my family that has a degree in IT and not in the medical field. Like everyone in my family is like a nurse or so when I started talking about like the information I was learning and was so excited about Juice Plus, they were just like, how are you going to tell me about health? Because you're an IT girl and all you do is work out. And I'm in the medical field. So no one, like my family was just pretty much blowing me off. But then I had an event at my house and Sharon presented the information. And I think I had at least 15 people at my house between all my family, like my siblings, my parents, and some friends from previous jobs. Pretty much most people ordered that day. These are the family members that were totally just like discarding me because I wasn't saying all the right things, or they just because they know who I am and were like, you can't tell me about health when you're not in the medical profession. So hopefully that gives you some idea of just getting them the resources. I don't like to this day, I talk less, excuse my dog. Oh my goodness.
Okay, come back.
To this day, I talk less and I just share the videos. And I've been doing this for 9 years, but I just know what comes from the videos with the experts speaks more volumes than someone who knows me. So just keep that in mind.
And when you did your own presentations, when I was on vacation, she was new. She used a video after she did her presentation. She'd stick a video in with the doctors. We have lots of doctor videos.
Yeah.
What about what's been your experience with the friends and family call?
The friends and family call have been really phenomenal because it's not a sales call. It's just people really want to know what's going on with you. So the way that it's marketed and the fact that just jump on, come hear what I'm up to, and then they get to hear from the new person and kind of what's going on in their life. And then they share that they've partnered with our company. And then we just share the information right after that about the company, how stable it is. And then that last person is kind of the cheerleader. It has been phenomenal. I mean, people, we say, you know, if you know anyone who is interested in this, please refer them to the person. But by the end of that call, people don't want to get off the line. They're just trying to find out how they can get it for themselves. Every single time. I have done probably over 20 friends and family calls, way more than that. But every time is very positive feedback. Every single time. Never had anyone that has been upset to get on there for 15, 20 minutes and hear what's going on with their friend.
I'm glad Lisa asked this question. Is it like a group Zoom like this?
Yes, it is, but we typically do it on a conference call line just to eliminate, because you know what I notice, I do a lot with Nalani, and a lot of times people will get like their grandma on and people, you know, so I think if they could just dial in a phone number, it's a little easier.
Yeah.
I always wonder why we don't it'd be fun as a Zoom because it is really like social and awesome too. Have you guys noticed that? I mean, it is really something, like the way people are catching up with each other, and it is a fun call. It's the best call.
I think, you know, nowadays people are more used to Zoom over the last 3 months. So if you feel like your family would not have a problem going on Zoom, I mean, we can even give them the direct link that has the password in it, stuff like that.
And a
then
phone number
it's
too.
easier. Yeah,
Well,
and
they have
there's
the
a phone
option.
number that's connected to Zoom too. So yeah, there's that. And so that's not to be mistaken
that's true,
with a
Melissa.
presentation. You know, that's another way that you could start off with your friends and family is doing a presentation. I want to ask Ikenna, I'm glad you turned your camera on. You've been doing presentations on Saturdays or Sundays called self-care. Am I speaking to
Sundays.
Sundays. So you're going through like the PowerPoint or what?
I'm going through a PowerPoint presentation, and I basically just invite anyone who I know, and if they do turn up, if they don't turn up, then I do it anyway, just to practice the whole presentation discussion, just so I can get used to just talking about it. And then if and when they do, then I need to put myself in a position where I'm actually following up with them as well.
Yes. And so he's in England, right? And so if some of you have relatives in England, I haven't asked you if I could invite them, but I've seen that you've opened it up to Team IP. So I'm sure Michelle has people in England, some other people do. I think that's really amazing. And you're very new to just go ahead and jump in like that.
So what? I'm sorry if you already said this, but what presentation are you doing?
Oh no, this is just the generic Juice Plus presentation, just talking about the company and the products and all that.
So you use the PowerPoint that's provided.
Yes.
Yes, and you use that. Excellent.
Yeah.
And who do you typically invite? Who do you
The people who I tend to look towards are more mothers, young mothers, like the people around my age group. I'm 29, so I tend to go towards them only because I think they will actually benefit from the Healthy Starts for Families thing. So far, I haven't got any success from it, but I just think if I just keep pursuing it, I think it's going to work out for myself, but also
Very
for them
smart.
in terms of actually getting the product itself. Because I think those gummies are just perfect for kids. I just know when I was a kid, I was all over the candy shop. So yeah, I think if kids kind of got into the whole gummies, that's the USP for me.
Very smart. When I first started really getting serious about doing this, I thought that it was like my role to like bring men into the business and get men customers. But the truth is, men are less concerned about their health typically. They don't make health decisions typically in the family. Usually the moms are controlling, what's going to be in the refrigerator. And like the CEO of our company, the president, Jay Martin, told me, he said, just remember that moms are the bread and butter. You're going to get men on your team, but moms are the bread and butter in our business, 75% at least.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so anybody having family stories or family overcoming stories where your family started off like, and now they're supportive?
I have a family story.
Okay, good.
I don't know if I would call it my family. It's my ex-husband. So when I started, he started to take the product. He loved the product. He was telling everybody about the product. And then he moved here. He stopped taking the product. Now, granted, whenever he comes to my house, Cynthia, do you have some Juice Plus? This weekend, my kid. So I know he's going to come back because this weekend my kids are with him. And he told my son, Christian, you better bring your Juice Plus if you come into my house. I'm like, yo, buy your own Juice Plus. But then my son said, Ma, don't worry. As soon as I turn 18, I'm gonna join the team and I'm gonna make sure all of my family are taking Juice Plus. So I was so excited when my son told me that yesterday.
That is so cute. I love that.
Wow, that's awesome. I wanted to share when you said about the family and whether or not it was a positive thing, that we're still working on it. Because what happened with me is that my sister, she has it, but she doesn't take it until she feels like something's going on, and then she eats it. And what they're saying is, well, when you get, well, you're talking about the product. I'm not going to talk about the business. I was talking about the business. So let me just get back to that. The fact that I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay.
Well, Nalani, I know you have a lot of your family on Juice Plus and on your team. So, over time, they've come around. Even Camille is now on the team. So, and she was doing wellness care for your customers, right?
Yeah,
But now
she is. Yeah, she's still doing the wellness care.
Yeah. So over time, with like these educational exposures and to see that we're not selling snake oil, Melissa, like I forget which relative might have thought that, but they see over time, and the more you take it seriously, as far as you learning and you doing, then they're going to take it seriously. Like if I go on vacation with the family, and I try not to do any business, that's really not helping me to show them that I have a business, So if I say, oh, I got to go on a Zoom for an hour, that's better, because then they're knowing that I do really have a real job, because sometimes we try to accommodate and hide our business from our relatives because we're on vacation. Well, they don't want to see me for 24 hours, trust me. So it's good. It's like, oh, I got to step away. Let me go, do that.
But there's one thing. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I'm done.
Yeah, but there's one thing though to be careful about, and that is not to have them think that every time you talk to me, all you talk to me about is this Juice Plus thing.
That's
You
for
know,
sure.
Yes.
you know, if you call me, you know, you don't call to say hi. You just call to tell me about this Juice Plus. And so there's a balance between it. You know, some of us don't want to say anything because we're around the family, but then all we talk about is Juice Plus, and that turns them off too.
Yeah. So don't try to
Definitely.
sell them or do presentations. You know, sometimes you have to call them because, like, hey, your order's up, but talk about other things. You know, that's one of our main things. And one of the best books is Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. People want to talk about themselves, you know. So asking questions where they can talk about themselves is always, in any relationship, is going to be good.
Be more interested than interesting.
Right.
And then
Really good.
sometimes, and then I was going to say, sometimes you, like if you're not hounding them about it and they know about it, I'm giving my sister as an example. My youngest sister, Allison, Dr. Lilani is my mom, for those of you that don't know. My youngest sister, Allison, took Juice Plus to her obstetrician when she was pregnant with my niece, and the obstetrician checked it out and was like, this is great. She actually used it as her prenatal. She stopped taking it, and she's taking some other kind of supplement now. But every once in a while, I send her something. So I sent her something on the omegas. And my niece loves the shake. Every time I come over there, she's like, Auntie, do you have the shake? Auntie, do you have the shake? So eventually she's going to get that shake. She's going to get the shake. But she orders the omegas, and she just got a Towel Garden. So, yeah, she ordered a Towel Garden from me.
Always making the shake, always having samples of chewables, you know, to just give to your family when you're with them. You know, making the shake for breakfast. Oh yeah, we'll have eggs too, but here have a little bit of shake. You know, they start getting addicted to it, and they can't do without it either.
You know what I notice sometimes too, though, some of the people that it can be frustrating, you know, if your family, you know, won't, you know, take Juice Plus or whatever. But some of the people that are really focused on their family, that's happening because they're probably not talking to enough people.
Yeah. You got to talk to a lot of people.
You have to talk to so many people that you don't have time to worry about whether or not. I mean, let your family see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Let your family see you getting results. Tell them about your results. Don't tell them they got to take it. Tell them about your results. Have them see you, you know, on the phone saying, oh, hold on. Oh, yeah, I'll put that order in. You know, like that's like social proof. That's why we also post on Juice Plus that there's things going on. You want to show when you're working at a coffee shop. You want to take a screenshot of the gallery view of your lunch and learn and say things like, you know, working my business with my friends this morning. You know, little things like that. It's called social proof. And if you post that a little bit here and there on your Facebook feed, that's just letting people know. So when the conversation does come up, people aren't like, what is Juice Plus? I mean, I have like thousands of friends on Facebook. I haven't spoken to thousands of my friends yet about Juice Plus. But when I do, they're going to know what it is, almost. Sometimes they still think it's juice, you know, but
right.
Maybe
Don't assume
I have to do the capsule picture more,
yeah,
I guess.
Don't assume that they know. So yeah, let's all smile or at least not look half, you know, asleep. Let's take a picture. Ready? Yay. Did I do it right? I stopped smiling while I was doing it because I know. I did it wrong.
It's so hard to do
Michelle's taking a picture. So yeah, I mean,
Lynette's on
be in the
Insta,
business.
so she's taking it with her camera.
Oh my goodness. Smile, everybody. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. I encourage you guys, book the friends and family call. You know, even if you've been in the business for a while, people might not know really what you're doing. And it's a great 20-minute call. We use a conference call line. We get them on there, and trust me, the magic is done, where they all of a sudden will be super supportive of you, and they'll start thinking of how they can help you. So think about that. I always like to say, pick a time like Sundays at 7 when you know that there is no excuse. But right now, a lot of people are home anyway, so it might not need to be Sunday at 7. It could be any time that maybe a good handful of your friends and family can get on.
All right, so action steps.
Check out the blog. Go
Schedule a friends and family call if you're newer, or even an update if you feel like you haven't done something like that. If you have a new team member, Schedule a friends and family call. Go to that link at gotransformers.net and read about the friends and family call. Learn about it. But then when it comes to sharing with friends and family, take the pressure off of yourself. Just remember, it's like sharing with anybody else. So we just keep learning. If you are brand new, if you're new, if you haven't read GoPro yet, it might be a little too much for you, but
GoPro.
that's really good stuff. If you're a leader, this is the book we're working through again. Ray Higdon, Freakishly Effective.
Ooh, Melissa, good.
Oh, Melissa has the social media one.
Oh,
Yes.
oh. These
All
are
right.
like little nice books to go back to, you know.
And you can always, if you're in our, just
Really good.
message us. Let us know if you need to know which books you should be reading. We're going to try and get better, especially with our leaders, about letting you know which book we're focusing on. So because that's going to kind of dictate what we're teaching in our lunch and learns and stuff too. All right, guys. Really good stuff.
Yeah.
I think you guys brought the questions. It was a great lunch and learn.
Okay. Well,
Okay, great.
we appreciate you guys being on.
Yes, Michelle. We got a meeting after this with Michelle.
It was great. It was really great. And I love it when you guys just talk about your stories. It's just, I love it.
Thank you.
So the reverse story kind of worked. Why didn't you
Yeah.
talk though? It's like I told the whole story.
That was good.
Oh,
It's really good. Right?
so much pressure.
I'm tired of hearing myself talk, really.
Well, Sharon's gonna have to go soon. She's got to plan all the Father's Day festivities.
Oh man, give me some advice in the chat. Guys.
Because
I need some too.
Nothing.
There's nothing planned. So
Ask
I
Dad
said
what
give
he
me-
wants.
Huh?
Anything I want, right?
Ask Dad what he wants and don't try to surprise him. Because
Yeah.
what you want for him may not be what he wants.
That's so
That's
true.
for sure.
Oh, I'm surprised my dad.
That's for sure.
Crazy.
Unless you know what they would like and know what they would
Well,
want.
she would get
then,
me
of course.
something that would allow me to make her food.
That'd be good.
Like,
And go to the food place, like the kitchen store. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Nice.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Happy Father's Day.
Bye.
Good weekend, guys.
Bye.
Yeah, happy Father's Day, everybody.
Yes.
Father's Day.
Thank you. Val Lynn.
Good to hear from you guys.
Val Lynn.
Bye.
Bye, guys.